Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk a little bit about this shooting down in Uvalde, Texas, and some of the information that is now starting to come out confirmed that the police on the scene um, refused to enter the building, waited an hour before they went in, but worse than that, they stopped the parents from going in to save their kids. Okay, so down in Texas, just like here in Pennsylvania, a lot of the parents are armed and trained, and would have been probably just as good, right, at going in there to save their kids. Now, I'm not saying that they would have been better. I'm just saying that they would have been just as good as the original police that came on scene. Okay, instead they waited for a SWAT team, I guess, to come in. Um, but here's what this comes down to. Okay, um, often in that type of situation, an imperfect reaction now is better than a perfect reaction an hour from now. Okay, so the imperfect, less trained, either original police that showed up on the scene or parents that were on the scene would have been better going in and overwhelming the shooter, then waiting an hour for the TAC team to come and for them to execute their perfect plan. Okay, and nothing against them. In fact, I hear that the local police prevented them from acting immediately. And I don't know how true that is, but that's one of the things that I heard. So here's the thing to understand. Okay, and I'm saying this as a parent. Right? As a parent, I got a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old. Okay. As a parent, okay, I would be willing to go in there and face 100% certainty of death. Okay, to give my children even a 1% chance of survival. Okay, and no police officer is going to do that. Okay? And nothing against them, right? But the fact is that they're working for a paycheck, and those aren't their kids. Okay, now they would do it if that was their kids. Okay, but they're not going to do it for somebody else's kids. Now, again, I'm not faulting them because in all honesty, I will say the same thing about myself. I will risk my life and face 100% certain death to save my kids, but I won't do that for somebody else's kids, right? Now, which is not to say I would just ignore them, right? But if it's somebody else's kids, then I start thinking about, let me get the cover, let me come up with a plan. That's when all that stuff starts coming into play, right? I start planning. How can I execute this, and give myself a 95% chance of survival? Okay, that's when somebody else's kids are involved. But when my kids are involved, my survival does not play any role in that. Okay, if my kids are in there, I will go straight into the gunfire, even for that 1% chance that I might save my kids. Okay, so that's the difference between the parents and and basically the police who are paid. Again, nothing against the police. They probably went by the book. All right, they probably had a whole list there, and they're going down the list. Okay, where's the negotiator? Okay, where's the floor plan? Where's the plan of the building? Where are all the exits? Where are the windows? So they're sitting there going right down the list of how they're supposed to do this. So they're doing their job. Nothing against them, but the problem is that all the kids died, or a lot of the kids died. If they had let the parents go in there, if they had just stayed out of the way, right? Let the parents go in there. Some of the parents, probably there's a good chance that some of them would have died, but probably more of the kids would have been saved. And from what I hear, it's not like he went in there and all of a sudden killed everybody. This was drawn out over the course of an hour, right? So if there was immediate action, perhaps some of the people entering the building might have been killed, all right? Be it police or parents, right? Perhaps some of the people entering would have been killed, but at the same time, more of the kids would have survived, all right? And I would prefer all right, that the kids survive rather than the parents and the police survive in that instance. Okay, and I'm saying this as a parent. Okay, so what, I guess this all comes back down to, ultimately it's up to you and only you to protect your family. Nobody's going to do it for you. Okay, nobody is going to accept 100% certain death to protect your kids. Okay, they'll do it to protect their kids, but not your kids. Okay, and again, I'm not faulting them because I'll be, I'm being honest here. I will not face 100% certain death to protect somebody else's kids. That's when I start thinking, okay, let's come up with a plan here. Where's the cover? Which is, where the, where's the floor plan? How can I enter in a way that gives me the greatest chance of self survival, right? So I can do the job and at the same time not get killed. Okay, but when your kids are in there, none of that comes into play, right? You go straight in through the front door, you charge the gunman, you take all the gunfire that you can take, and you fire into him as much as you can while you're still breathing. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you die as long as he dies too and he doesn't kill any more kids. Okay, so that's not the kind of reaction that you're going to see from a police officer, right? Unless their kids are involved. Okay, and we've all heard this before, like when it comes to combat situation, like with mercenaries, right? Most it's generally accepted that mercenaries are the first to leave the battlefield, right? When things, when it looks like things are going really bad. Okay, and I'm not saying that police are mercenaries, but just in a similar way, the mercenaries don't have a vested interest in winning. They're just there to get paid. In a similar way, the police are there to do their job. Yes, and I'm not saying that they wouldn't have preferred to save the kids, but they're not going to face 100% certain death to save the kids, and that's what it would have took, right? They needed immediate action, basically, bum rush the shooter, guns blazing, out in the open, just straight in, bam, 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 just straight in. All right, take all the bullets, keep going for as long as you can, keep putting fire. That's what it would have took to end this immediately. All right, but nobody's going to do it unless they're trying to protect their own kids. So, just want to share that with you guys. And again, it all comes down to it's up to you and only you to protect your family. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon. I want to add one more thing with regards to the staff that were inside of the building. If they were armed, they would have been able to defend themselves, and through by means of defending themselves, they would have also basically stopped this shooter from killing those kids. Okay, and I'm not saying this to say that the staff would be committing an act of bravery. They would be committing an act of self-preservation, right? I wouldn't expect the staff to go running back into the school to save somebody else's kids, but if they're in the school and you got a person in there that's killing people, I would expect them to act to save their own lives, and by the same means they would be saving the lives of the kids. Okay. Now I'm not saying that the gun should be forced on the staff, but hey, listen, that's Texas, just like this is Pennsylvania. There's lots of school staff, right, that have carry permits, that carry guns, and they carry guns everywhere except when they go to work. Okay, but they carry a gun to the supermarket, they carry a gun to wherever they normally go, right? It's just that they cannot carry that gun to school where they could, where they would be able to protect themselves and by the same means also protect the children. Okay, so that's the other thing, right? And again, I'm not saying that, I do not expect anybody to run into gunfire to protect somebody else's kids, right? Because everybody's got their own kids, right? Same thing with me. Like, I got my kids. I have to stay alive to basically raise my kids. However, if my kids are in there, right, there's no point in me being alive if I can't protect my kids. So yes, in that situation, I would run straight into the gunfire without regards for my life to save my kids. Nobody else's kids, my kids. Okay, so that's important. The reason why I keep coming back to that is because I don't want you guys to think I'm playing heroics here, right? I'm not. In fact, I am an anti-hero. Okay, I'm the opposite of a hero. I train people to defend themselves, right? I don't train people to defend other people, right? It's up to you, normally you, to defend yourself and your family. So, talk to you all soon.